So hello, I'm Leon Groothaar and I really want to talk about my research that I did on personalizing audio tours based on gaze data. Well, I started off with this research because I was inspired by a book that was made by Dan Brown. It's called Origin. And in the first part of the book, Dan Brown told about a story about the Guggenheim Museum that's in Bilbao. During his visit there, he was given a headset that had like bone conducting audio, and it was really state of the art. And what happened was, after a while, the personal audio tour, his name was Winton, and he told stories about the art that he saw. And in the end, he came to one part of the museum where there were like massive towers that you need to run through. So the main character of the book walked into these giant metal spheres that were made by Richard Serra. And he walked further and further into the spheres, and he got more and more anxious because the space that he went to would get smaller and smaller. And the audio tour, the personalized audio tour that he got, sensed that he got anxious. And in the end, he just wanted to stop and didn't want to go further. And the audio tour said, "Oh, come on, it's just a small bit to go." And he could tell that he got anxious and that he didn't want to move on, and he helped him with it. So this experience really inspired me to think what's out there now, and because the system that he was told about in the book was really science fiction, and I wanted to find out what we could do. Okay, so the research question was, how can I improve the museum experience with the use of narrative enhancements in gaze data? Okay, so during my background research, I had an interview with the curator of the Rijksmuseum here in Enschede. And what he told me was that there are like three main groups that come to the museum. You have families, you have students, and you have experts that need to visit the museum. And what he told me that was, you always get like 50 words of text next to each painting, and it needs to be perfect for all of these groups. The funny thing is that every of these three groups need completely different kind of information. Families just want to have a fun experience in the museum, and experts need a lot of detailed information about specific parts of paintings. And a normal curator is not able to capture that in 50 words. So that's also where I started off my research, to find a solution for this. So how we can personalize information in the museum to enable all these different groups to get the right experience. So what I came up with was a system that could track the gaze of each museum visitor. And with this data, I can make a personalized audio tour. And the audio tour is based on which part of the painting each participant or each museum visitor is looking at. So during my research, I made a system in which I could track people's gaze on a computer while they were looking at art on a laptop. And I did this user test with 18 people, just in my studio, with my own art actually. The conclusion of these tests was that everybody got their own specific set of micro-narratives. So everybody got a different set, although there were some points of paintings that were more looked at than others, of course. But I think that is the main conclusion of my research, that it is possible to personalize audio tours based on how people look at it, because everybody looks at art differently.